Welcome to Modern Management of the Older Adult, brought to you by the Institute of Clinical Excellence.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the PT on Ice Daily Show. My name is Christina Previtt. I am one of the faculty with our team, MMOA, our Modern Management of the Older Adult Division. We have 3 courses in our geriatric curriculum. We have our 8-week online Essential Foundations, our 8-week online Advanced Concepts, and then we have our 2-day live course. If you saw this past weekend, we had 2 live courses going. I was up in Anchorage, Alaska, which was really crazy. It was like so fun to be up, and Alaska is beautiful. And then we had Alex and Jeff in Delaware. So really exciting things. We have tons of courses on the books in 2023. We got only a couple left for 2022, including Cheyenne. We're in Cheyenne this weekend, and then I am in St. Mary's, Georgia, the 12th, 13th of November. And I think we got one more that I am forgetting because I am jet lagged and took a red eye yesterday. But if you're interested, you can go to ptice.com and you can find all of our live course offerings. All right, so for today, I'm apologizing if the music is loud. I was coaching right until 9, and so I got to figure out a way to get on here right at 9. But I want to talk about leveling up our Geri game in 3 steps. So, as you know, as a division, our life's work is to bring PT version 2.0 to the Geri space. And that means leveling up our geriatric interventions so that we can better serve our older adults. So when we take a lot of the work that we are talking about, we can kind of boil it down to 3 steps. So the first step is to get the real goal. So far too often in geriatrics, our goals are not specific. In school, we get so annoyed because the SMART goals start getting shoved down our necks, making it specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. But it's really important, right? We often will say, get stronger. Okay, well, what does that mean? Get stronger with what? Get stronger to do what? Get stronger in what length of time? What is our expectation? And does it matter to our client? Julie has talked a lot about the PLOF being BS, and previous level of function is many times what brings people into our offices in the first place. So that might not even be a realistic goal or something that we wish to attain. We might need to go a little bit further than that so that we don't have that 30-day hospital readmit, so that we don't have that longer length of stay next time because they are having trouble already with their day-to-day function and then add in a hospitalization, a fall, an injury. How are we going to do that? We need to be overwhelmingly curious about what our clients' goals are. And sometimes our clients' goals aren't going to line up with our goals, right? We see all this capacity that our older adults have. If they don't want to do that, that is fine. We have to accept that. They are adults. They can stratify risk and do their own cost-benefit analysis and say, maybe this is something that they want and maybe this is something that they didn't. But we have to know what their goals are. If I had a day where I took all of your pain away, what would you be doing? What are things that you used to do that you now feel like you can no longer do because of where you're at with your pain or your function? What are day-to-day tasks that you're getting help with by a caregiver or a spouse that you really wish that you didn't need help with? Ask those questions. Dig deeper. When you get, and they say to you, oh, I really wish that my spouse did not have to take my pants up so that I could go to, or pants down, pants up so that I could go to the toilet. That is a very good goal for us to be working on their functional mobility in the bathroom, their dressing behaviors. And it is going to translate into something extremely meaningful to them. Get stronger, while yes, that is going to translate into meaningful things, they're not going to see what that is. And that leads me to point number 2. We need to create the bridge between what their goals are and what we are asking them to do. And that kind of has 2 parts. Number 1, the exercises we select should mimic what they are asking of us. If I was to audit your charts, and this is where I want you to reflect, and we put their goal and it was specific and measurable, and then I looked at the exercises you select, would that bridge be obvious to me? And if it's not obvious to me, then it absolutely is not obvious to my client or your client, right? So we need to be creating bridges in 2 ways. 1, we need to be trying to mimic what our clients' goals are. That can be with the movement patterns that we select, with the objects that we select, with the weights that we are putting into their hands. If they have a 15-pound purse and we are giving them a 5-pound weighted carry, we're probably not going to see a change in their function because they are already doing weighted walks with significantly heavier than the weight that you are putting into their hand. And it's not going to translate into any changes in function because now we are underdosing them. And then once we make sure that we are mimicking the activities that are important to them, that they have identified to us that they're important, we need them to know. And it's not enough for it to look alike. We need to say to them, oh my goodness, you are carrying this 10-pound weight. I bet you that is enough for you to bring 2 bags of groceries in that right hand because that's probably about 10 pounds. And you said that one of your goals is to be able to walk up your 2 steps with 10 pounds with your groceries in your hand. And then after this, we're going to start doing step ups, get your pain down. And then eventually your goal is to do 10-pound weighted step ups because that's going to let you bring your groceries into the house and be able to do that without worrying about it. And we're going to work on some balance work, doing the same thing, doing some stepping strategies and obstacle navigation, because the other aspect or other part of that equation is to make sure that you have enough dynamic balance in order for you to be able to complete that task. The activities that you are selecting create the bridge to that goal. That's number 1. And then you highlight that goal. All right, so level number 1 is we need to find out what is actually meaningful. So find the real goal, not get stronger, get more endurance, the real goal. Number 2 is create the bridge from that goal to the exercise that you are selecting. It should be clear, not only in the exercise we're selecting, but in the way that we are communicating that exercise selection so that our clients recognize that we are doing things that are meaningful to them. We are listening to them and getting them back to the things that mean something to them. Number 3 is to add intensity, right? So we have our goal. We have the exercises that we're going to select. Now we are going to add intensity. So there are many ways for us to add intensity. We go through them intensively in our live course in Essential Foundations. We level that up in clinical populations and advanced concepts. But the first thing that you need is a baseline amount of strength. If you have no idea what they are capable of, then you have no idea if you are overdosing or underdosing them. Ways that we have talked about a lot on the podcast is using things like AMRAP sets, as many reps as possible, to figure out a sub-max test so that you can work that back to their 1 rep max. But the 2 very, very easy ways to add intensity is 1, to ask about their perceived exertion. On a scale of 1 to 10, how hard did you think this was? Was this easy, medium, or hard? Are they able to tell you an entire story while you are doing an aerobic exercise with them? Or do they have to start taking breaks? AKA, are they passing or failing the talk test? If they are passing the talk test, and they can completely continue talking to you the entire time, then you know that you do not have that intensity. Alex has gone on before and talked about how we can even level up our intensity interventions with our balance intensity scale. So similar to an RPE, it's an unsteadiness scale that allows you to look at how uncomfortable your client is. Real or perceived, both matter, both are important. So you can do intensity measures within session. And then the second way that we can really level up and easily add intensity is by using intervals, right? Get a timer app on your phone. Use the timer apps on your phone and make your rest intentional, right? Your work to rest ratios are going to significantly dictate your overall session intensity. It is also going to optimize your time. You do not have a lot of time with your clients, so it is important that every minute that you use with them is important, right? So ask them, how hard did you think this was on a scale of 1 to 10? Put a timer on. Not only is that going to hold your clients accountable, it's going to hold you accountable, right? Sometimes we end up documenting and then we lose track of time and 4 minutes has passed when really they should have been on a 90-second work to rest interval. So it allows us to make sure that we are keeping our intensity high within session, but it also is going to allow us to be more efficient within session, getting the most amount of work done in the appropriate amount of time. So if you want to level up your Geri game, there are 3 ways that you can do today. If you are on your way to see your first geriatric client, really any client, but we're going to focus this in the geriatric space. Number 1, get the real goal. Get stronger, get more endurance. That is not enough. Get the real goal. Number 1. Number 2, create bridges. The exercises that you select should mirror that goal. You should communicate that mirror, that bridge to your client. They need to know that this is going to translate into things that are meaningful for them. Number 3, add intensity. And the 2 easiest ways to do that right now without having anything else is, number 1 is to ask them how hard it was. You should be able to see their effort on their face, but you also want to ask them how hard they think this is. And number 2, use an interval timer. Get the data. Use the data. And then, because you're using interval timers, you can look at progressive overload over time by the way that you have manipulated work and the way that you have manipulated rest. And you can see how they are getting stronger. And that is another piece of data for you to give to them. All right. Those are my 3 ways. Leveling up. Tell me how that went today. Did you work on any of these things within your session? How did it go? It is all about trial and error. Practice. The rest and work intervals are not in stone. You can change them. But the more you start to implement this, the easier it becomes. And your clients are going to thank you for it. All right, if you have not signed up for MMOA Digest, that is our bi-weekly email newsletter that brings research right to you. I encourage you to go to ptonice.com/resources and sign up for MMOA Digest. If you have any other questions, comments, concerns, put them in the chat, into the comment section under this post. Otherwise, have a wonderful end of your week and keep leveling up for your older adults. So thank you for it. Bye, everyone.
Thank you for listening to the MMOA podcast. If you found this helpful, please share with someone that could benefit. And if you're looking for more practical content to help you better serve older adults, head over to www.mmoa.online, where you can learn more about our free resources, our community, continuing education courses, and our certification. Once again, that's www.mmoa.online. Thanks for listening.